The moment a grizzly bear appears, pressure spreads across the entire area. Whether hunting or facing another predator, it immediately creates a powerful advantage. Its strength, resilience, and sheer presence are enough to make many rivals hesitate. In a harsh natural world, few species can shift the balance so quickly. But what happens when the grizzly bear truly begins its attack? The grizzly bear is a large, resilient mammal of North America, weighing around 600 pounds and capable of reaching speeds close to 40 miles per hour. With powerful muscles, long claws, and a highly sensitive sense of smell, it stands as an exceptional adapter to its environment. Unlike many specialized predators, the grizzly is an intelligent and flexible omnivore. This allows it to maintain its energy through the most demanding seasons of survival. That is why every time a grizzly bear appears, it is often a sign of an ecosystem still rich with life. The gray wolf is one of the most formidable hunting strategists in North America. Its pack strength allows it to bring down prey weighing thousands of pounds through speed and near-perfect coordination. As winter comes to an end, the pressure of survival becomes clear across the frozen plains. Food sources decline, many animals weaken, and the pack must make use of every opportunity. When a deer collapses, it is not just a meal, but the result of a carefully calculated pursuit. But just as a moment of calm begins to settle, the balance starts to shift again. From the edge of the forest, an unseen pressure slowly spreads outward. With an extremely keen sense of smell, the grizzly bear detects the scent from nearly 20 miles away, approaching quietly like a force that needs no announcement. Weighing over 800 pounds, the bear requires little display to take control. A few wolves move in to test the situation, but a single turn of its body, combined with 4-inch claws, is enough to create a zone of pressure that forces the entire pack to step back. In the wild, survival sometimes means knowing when to walk away at the right moment. In the end, the grassland falls silent again as the wolves choose to withdraw. Because survival is not about holding on to a prize at all costs, but about knowing when to step away in the presence of an unshakable force. In the world of the grizzly bear, territory has never been just a patch of forest to cross. It is food, access to mates, and a boundary that determines who gets to remain. From deep within the woods, an unfamiliar male moves in, trying to replace the old scent marks and claw traces on the tree trunks. The resident quickly appears, slow but full of pressure, as if even the air around it has grown heavier. At first, the encounter is only a clash of locked stares and brief warning signals, but the tension rises very quickly. When both rear up, standing more than 8 feet tall, their massive shoulders and solid muscle are fully revealed. This is not just a display of strength, but a test of resolve between two individuals that neither wants to yield. If neither gives way, the confrontation erupts with high-reaching claws and heavy blows. After several minutes of holding each other in check through pressure and willpower, one begins to slow, then turns away. It is not defeat, but a wise choice to preserve the chance of survival. The Territory remains secured in the stillness of the old northern forest. In a harsh, natural world, knowing when to stop at the right moment is also a form of power. Because the mating season is drawing near, and this time, the reward is not only the land, but the chance to carry the bloodline into the next generation. In Alaska, when the rivers begin to surge, millions of salmon begin an upstream journey that stretches for hundreds of miles. For the grizzly bear, this is the period of hyperphagia, a biological hunger that drives it to consume up to 20,000 calories a day. To survive the harsh winter, each individual must build a reserve fat layer up to 4 inches thick beneath the skin, turning the river into a stage of patience and strength. Towering waterfalls become prime hotspots, where grizzly bears take control of strategic positions, places where the current forces salmon to leap high above the water. These predators can remain motionless for hours, locking onto even the slightest movement beneath the silver surface. With precise timing, powerful jaws decide the outcome for prey weighing several pounds in a single instant. As the salmon season gradually comes to a close, the current slows and the prey begins to weaken. The grizzly bear leaves the falls and moves toward shallower pools, where it shifts focus to salmon eggs, the densest source of energy, to maximize its biological return. What remains along the stream banks then becomes nourishment for scavenging birds, insects, and even the forest soil itself. That is how nature maintains its balance, and the grizzly bear continues to hold a special place within that cycle. The moose is one of the largest herbivores of the northern regions. Weighing around 1,500 pounds and standing close to 6 feet tall, it resembles a moving fortress of muscle in the wilderness. Its most formidable advantage lies not only in its wide antlers, but also in its powerful hind legs, capable of delivering kicks strong enough to make predators hesitate. Along the edge of a marshy area, a grizzly bear once attempted to press an adult moose into a narrow space. But the moose did not panic. It turned to face the threat, shifting its full weight into a defensive stance, forcing the bear to slow down and reconsider each step forward. The grizzly then redirected its focus toward a mother and calf moving towards the wetlands. The mother immediately formed a living shield, using her massive body and forceful charges to protect the young. But the grizzly did not rush. It applied steady pressure, waiting for a brief opening to shift the balance. Even a single moment of vulnerability can place the weaker target at a disadvantage. In nature, the advantage does not always belong to the stronger or more relentless, but to the one that chooses the right moment to advance or to hold back. In this race for survival, even a single moment can change everything. As twilight settles over the rocky slopes, a female deer quietly separates from the herd and moves toward a stream, unaware that the shifting wind has revealed her presence. Not far away, a grizzly bear picks up the signal. Without making unnecessary noise, the massive figure begins to move, then quickly turns into a powerful charge through the darkening forest. Despite its large frame, the grizzly can accelerate to around 35 miles per hour. Ahead, the herd breaks formation the moment the danger closes in. A deer at the edge reacts too late, forced to change direction abruptly across uneven ground and fallen logs. That terrain slows its escape for just a moment, and the grizzly immediately closes the distance. In this wilderness, opportunities often appear only for a brief instant. And for a predator aware enough to seize that moment, the advantage is often decided before night fully falls. Across the high northern slopes, the bull elk stands as a symbol of enduring strength. Weighing around 1,000 pounds and carrying antlers that can span nearly 4 feet, it commands attention not only for its size, but for its ability to hold ground in harsh terrain. Yet in the eyes of a grizzly bear in need of energy, it becomes a rare opportunity that is difficult to ignore. A pursuit only becomes truly dangerous when the elk is forced onto wet, slippery ground. There, legs that are agile on rocky slopes begin to lose their familiar rhythm. The grizzly understands this moment well. It does not rush to display force, but quietly closes the distance, using each brief hesitation to build its advantage. However, nature does not always favor one side. The moment the elk regains stable footing on solid ground, the balance can shift quickly, and the grizzly must reconsider the cost of continuing the pursuit. The eagle appears, and the sky instantly shifts its rhythm. From a commanding height, it locks onto the target and dives with striking precision. Powerful wings, sharp talons, and rapid reflexes narrow every possible escape. Within just a few brief seconds, the balance of the animal world is completely altered. This is not only a hunt, but a declaration of dominance over the sky. The rabbit is one of the most fragile prey on open grasslands, yet also a master of reflex. At the first sign of danger, it can burst to speeds of around 45 miles per hour, constantly changing direction with long leaps to disrupt pursuit. That speed is its first line of defense, but it is not always enough against eyes from above. From a favorable height, the eagle observes every movement on the ground. When the target enters range, it descends at remarkable speed. The decisive moment is not about strength, but about timing, angle of approach, and the ability to secure the target before it can shift direction. A delay of even a fraction of a second can mean a lost opportunity. With a success rate below 30%, each dive becomes a test between speed and reflex. Not every attempt brings a result, but those repeated efforts help sustain the balance of the ecosystem. In the wild, the fox is known as a clever lone traveler, relying on cunning to endure harsh winters. With sharp hearing and light, precise steps, it becomes a master of sudden ambush. Yet today, that cunning meets a predator of a different level. With vision up to 5 times sharper than a human's, the eagle patiently waits until the fox completes its hunt. The moment the prey rests in the fox's jaws, a shadow drops from the sky. Talons close, and the hard-earned catch is lifted off the ground before the fox can react. The fox immediately backs away, as instinct recognizes that holding on would only raise the risk. As winter sets in, the balance of survival can shift within seconds. One moment, the fox is the hunter. The next, it becomes a target against the open snow. In a landscape that reveals every movement, the eagle from above quickly locks onto the opportunity. In that instant, the ground predator is pushed into the role of the pursued. In the natural world, snakes are among the most unpredictable prey. They move with almost no sound, concealed like a living trap among dry grass and sun-warmed rocks. With highly venomous species such as cobras or mambas, a single misjudged approach can turn a hunt into a test of survival. Facing that danger are predators seemingly built for this challenge, such as the brown snake eagle and the crested serpent eagle. When hunting venomous snakes, their legs are covered in thick, armor-like scales that help reduce risk from rapid counterstrikes. There is no extended chase, just a few seconds of precise adjustment, followed by a swift closing of talons to secure control. Along coastal areas and river mouths, the white-bellied sea eagle takes advantage of a different opportunity when sea snakes must surface for air or rest briefly on warm rocks. In that short window, talons delivering gripping force of around 400 pounds per square inch lock onto a vulnerable point and remove any chance of escape. In this encounter, the advantage does not belong to the stronger side, but to the one that reads timing and distance with precision. The wolf is a symbol of endurance, resilience, and a rare level of pack discipline in the wild. When maintaining formation, it becomes a highly effective pursuit hunter, coordinating movements, splitting directions, and sustaining pressure over long distances. But when an individual is separated from the pack, its greatest advantage begins to fade. From above, the eagle tracks movement below and waits for the precise moment to close in. Wolves are not a typical target, but a lone individual can still face serious risk. Using the element of surprise, the eagle descends at speeds of around 70 miles per hour, creating intense pressure within just a few brief seconds. By the time the threat is recognized, the wolf often has very little time to react. In other situations, the eagle's key advantage lies in its ability to control from above. A well-timed strike combined with curved talons allows it to pin down the target and significantly limit its movement. Even a sharp and determined species like the coyote can struggle to break free once fully secured. In nature, the one who controls distance and timing is often the one who holds the final advantage. Winter is always a harsh test for those who rule the skies. As the ground freezes and food becomes scarce, even eagles can turn into direct rivals against their own kind or other eagles competing within the same hunting range. In a rare encounter, a sea eagle with a wingspan of over 8 feet faces a golden eagle across the frozen landscape. One holds the advantage in size and weight, while the other stands out with agility and aerial control. There are no sudden, high-speed dives this time. Instead, a tense standoff unfolds, as both repeatedly close in, extend their talons, then break away, probing each other's limits in the biting wind. Pressure builds with every circling pass. A single mistimed moment, a slight misjudgment in distance, is enough to shift the balance. In the end, the sea eagle chooses to withdraw. In such a harsh environment, the cost of a mistake can outweigh any reward. And the one that survives the winter is not always the one that holds ground, but the one that knows when to step away. In the high mountain terrain of the Italian Alps, the ibex is a master of the cliffs. With split hooves and soft, gripping pads, it can stand securely on ledges as narrow as about 2 inches, places most predators cannot reach. An adult, weighing several hundred pounds, becomes a powerful presence, making direct confrontation rarely worth the risk. Yet on these steep slopes, opportunity sometimes appears in young individuals that drift away from the group. A single delayed moment is enough for the golden eagle to act. It does not rely on raw strength. Instead, it uses speed, precision, and the steep terrain itself to force the prey off balance. Once the target loses footing near the edge, the mountainside completes the encounter. For a less experienced eagle, this remains a demanding challenge. A slight error in approach, a missed grip, and every advantage can vanish against the sheer rock face. On that mountainside, gravity itself can become the deciding force. Within the dense canopy, monkeys embody agility. Weighing under 10 pounds and mastering 3-dimensional space, they move through tangled branches like shadows, seemingly untouchable when avoiding danger. Yet this forest also sustains an opposing predator. The harpy eagle, a phantom of the upper canopy, waits patiently for a moment of distraction. When one individual drifts away from the group while feeding, it suddenly dives, cutting through narrow gaps between branches. With a wingspan of about 6.5 feet and talons reaching roughly 5 inches, the harpy eagle navigates dense rainforest space with remarkable control. A precise grab is enough to pull the target from a branch in an instant. A successful hunt can provide food for the nest for several days. That is how the eagle asserts its role as a top predator, even within the realm of master climbers. The eagle is not the largest bird in the sky, yet it stands among the most formidable aerial hunters. From the Rocky Mountains of North America to the African savannas and the forests of Eurasia, it commands the air through sharp vision, speed, and an ability to read the terrain. Its true advantage lies not only in powerful talons or a forceful dive, but in choosing the exact moment to act. In the wild, that timing is what defines the authority of a ruler of the skies. When all movement settles, the grizzly bear still leaves behind a lasting sense of pressure. It does not need to display force, yet it is always enough to make others hold back. Across the harsh wilderness, that presence almost always tilts the balance in its favor. That is why the grizzly bear holds a truly unique place in nature. Please press like and subscribe to follow more encounters ahead.